Hey, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. News in the gospel, bro. Lifting up the standard of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. Real quick, this is titled Standing on the Sea of Glass. Oftentimes, there's a lot of misconceptions about the particular firmament or the heavens and so forth. Like Revelation 15, it says, those that got the victory of the beast, I saw them with harps standing on the sea of glass, which actually means on top of the firmament, okay, on top of the ozone layer, because if you understand the Bible goes into three different classifications of heaven, which the first heaven will be our realm, so to speak. If you look up in the sky, you see the cloud, the sky, the firmament, etc. That would be considered the first heaven. Like right now, I'm looking out the window and I can see the sky. That's the first heaven. Okay. Also, heaven goes into rulerships too, but this particular one we're going into is talking about the firmament. Okay, which Esau referred to, or the Bible refers to as our ozone layer, our atmosphere. Okay, certain people believe in like the whole flat Earth. The people believe that the Earth is encapsulated by a dome, a half spherical dome, which in context they don't understand the word firmament, because the word firmament in Hebrew goes into rakaya, like rakaya. I think it's like they pronounce it rakia, but it means rakaya or rakaya. Can't really pronounce it, Salakia, but they say rakia, but it's raka'ah. It goes into the Hebrew word, which means a vaulted structure, so to speak. Now, breaking that down in the scriptures, man, a vaulted structure going into our ozone layer, our atmosphere, like Earth has a protective barrier surrounding the atmosphere, okay, which is known as the ozone layer, the Van Allen belts. Okay, like if you can see here, of course, we know the Earth is a sphere, okay, is a globe. We understand that. So if you look at the picture here, you can see that it's encapsulated by what they particular, like the ozone layer or the particular Van Allen belts, which protects radiation, etc., from getting into this particular realm. But see, Esau, he's stupid, because the whole concept of moon landing, right? Esau claimed to have landed on the moon, but for one thing, you can't really travel through the Van Allen belts, okay? But the apostle did break it down and say, well, it's like a particular hole or something like that he can go through. Okay, well, hey, that's the case, and that's the case. Because from my knowledge, I never known Esau to send a tin can through the Van Allen belts, because of radiation, it would burn it up. And that's why the apostle said that if they don't go through that particular portal or that hole, it'll burn them up. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times when they shoot rockets into outer space and stuff like that, or trying to shoot, a lot of times it just get destroyed because the firmament, okay, well, the molten glass is very hot. Like if you go up there, it's hot. That's why when things like meteors and so forth, before it comes into Earth's atmosphere, it burns up. Okay, it makes a lot of sense. So looking at this picture, first heaven, second heaven, which the second heaven will be outer space, okay, which is above our firmament. So you go through the first or the Van Allen belts, or you go out of the atmosphere, then you would be considered in space, which Esau calls it a vacuum. But okay, but you literally have outer space, is what they call space. Okay, where the other planets or the other heavenly bodies dwell. All right, then you got the third heaven, which is the spiritual world, which is the Most High, where he dwells, and the angels, etc. Like 2 Corinthians, I believe, 2 or 12:2 goes into Paul being called up into the third heaven. Okay, because I believe that's the time that he was stoned, if I'm not mistaken. And hey, the Lord called him up, and the things that he saw, he couldn't utter. He said it was unlawful for him to utter what he had saw in the spirit, because it was that magnificent. So that's the whole point. And when you die, that's where your spirit goes. It goes to the third heaven, or it goes to the fourth dimension. Okay, which is the abode where Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai dwells, man. Okay, so we're living in a multi, like we said, the dimensional world, meaning that, okay, different realms, different heavens. Like you go to outer space, that's considered a different realm. And why I say that is because it's made up of different properties, different armada, so to speak, because you can't have this particular body and travel in a second heaven. It's not going to work. You're going to pretty much disintegrate because you don't have the heavenly body. Okay, like that Superman, he can go to second heaven because he has that extraterrestrial body. Okay, which terrestrial goes into a terrain. Okay, extraterrestrial means like superhuman. Okay, terrain means of the earth. All right, like if you go to Google Maps and you put in a different imaging, it says terrain. Terrain shows you a geographical layout of the earth or dirt work, so to speak. So just to give you some understanding on that. But regardless, standing on the sea of glass literally means the second heaven. We're going to be outside of the earth's atmosphere. We're going to be actually looking down at the destruction, man. Okay, and we went over that Revelation 15:2. Because a lot of times Christians, they don't understand it. They really believe that it's going to be a sea of glass, like we're going to be standing on a glass. Well, the reason why it's called the sea of glass is because, for one thing, the transparency of it, okay, see through. Like if I look up in the sky right now, I can't see the ozone layer. I can't see, it's just crystal clear, okay? Like I see clouds, I see a blue sky, I see the sun, okay? And that's transparency there. Okay, because notice, like when it's dark outside and you notice the waters, like the scriptures consider the heavens, the waters, the Shemayim, which is the waters. Okay, when you read the scriptures, it goes into it. So like you notice, like when it's dark out and you look in the sky is a dark color, and then you look at the ocean, it's the same color pretty much. Why? Because the heavens, man, it's like a glass. It reflects, so to speak. Okay, that's why a lot of times you go to, like if you look up in the sky right now, if I go to the beach or the lake, then the water is going to represent something blue because it's reflecting off the heavens. Okay, like the scriptures call it transparent, like a glass, so to speak. So that's why it's referring to it, because you can't just look up and see the elements. It's just clear. Okay, so that's a way that, you know, Jake can kind of understand it, putting it in layman's terms. All right, so anyway, let's go to the book of Genesis 1, and I'm gonna start at verse 6. It says, and the power said, let there be a firmament in the midst of heaven. Okay, so here, okay, you see this blue, that's to consider our firmament, our particular sky, our atmosphere. Okay, and this is what the Most High divided the waters from the waters, because if you look at the globe, you have the waters here on the planet Earth, and then, okay, you have the outer space, or you have the firmament, which is considered the waters too, because they found evidence of waters being in outer space. Okay, you have different types of waters. You have the liquid form, and then you have gases and air. That's considered water too, because think about humidity and water vapor. Like a lot of times, if it's humid outside, then your body starts to sweat, okay, because the vapors goes up, they disintegrate, and then it's circumvented, so to speak. So that's considered waters as well. Waters are not just always in a liquid form, because when the Most High created everything, he broken things down by elements and particles, so to speak. So Lord is cold-blooded how he, with the whole thing of creation. But it says, let the firmament be in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. Okay, so going back, and I know I butchered that word earlier, into the firmament. Okay, it goes into rakia. Okay, it's pronounced, they said rakia. Okay, raka'ah, which means extended surface, solid, expands, firmament. See, this is where they go off, because they're making it seem like it's and to like really break it down, I remember one of the elders also broke it down and said we do have a protective barrier over the earth, which is known as the ozone layer, or the Van Allen belts. Okay, but see, what they try to get, they get slick with it. They try to make it seem like it's like a tabletop on top of it, like you'll go up and bump your head. No. All right. It says expands, flat base support. That's all firmament, a vault of heaven supporting waters above. Okay. And like I said, we just broke down the waters, which is, okay, the vapors, you got the gases, you got the vapors. Like on certain planets, you got gases up there, man. Okay. Like they call it Saturn, which we're not going to call it by other gods. Okay. Those are just different heavenly abodes. But hey, they found evidence of gases on these different planets, man. Okay. See, they try to break down the concept of a flat earth here, but that's not what this is going into. Okay. It says properly expands the firmament, apparently a visible arch of the sky. Okay, but it's not visible. Okay, and that's why it calls it the sea of glass, because you can't see it. It just clear, you know. Like when you look up into the heavens, man, you don't really see outer space in the daytime. Why? Because that's that expanse that divided the waters from the waters, man. Like it's a sunny day right now, and if I was to take a spaceship and go to outer space, it'd be a whole different domain, being dark. But right now, I can't see that darkness because the sun is out. Which shows you how the Lord separated the realms. That's cold blooded, man. Okay, and it says here, and the Most High, or the power of Salakia, made the firmament and divided the waters from the waters under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. And the power is called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. Okay, so that's our particular atmosphere. Like I'm looking at the firmament right now. Okay, that's the first heaven. Okay, this earthly abode. All right. So this is the book of Second Ezra 6. And I'm going to start at verses, let's start at verses 39. It says, "And the spirit and darkness and silence were on every side, and the sound of men's voice was not yet formed," right? Because remember, when the Lord created everything, it was just pure darkness. Okay, scriptures go into the Lord was a power that dwelt in utter darkness, man. Okay, because like you said before, the earth was formed. I mean, the Most High was just nothingness, man. And the Most High formed it out of the word, and we went to creating. Okay, but hey, you had darkness around this, what you call abode at first. Just complete darkness. That's why when you go to space, it's dark up there. You know, it's a whole different realm. But it says, "And the commandments thou fair light came in the fourth of thy treasures, that thy work might appear. Upon the second day thou commandest the spirit of the firmament, and commanded this to be part of asunder, and to make a division betwixt the waters, that one part might go up and the other remain beneath." Right. Okay, going into like water vapors, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you ever heard of water evaporating? Where do it go? Okay. And it says here, "And upon the third day thou didst commanded the waters should be gathered in the seventh part of the earth, and 6 parts thou hast dried up, and kept them to the intent that some being planted of the power until may serve thee." Okay, because you got to remember the whole concept of the flood. Okay, before the whole concept of rain came about, it was a mist that watered the earth. Okay, and then Noah was out there saying it's gonna rain, it's gonna rain, it's gonna rain, and then it happened. Okay, but then also it says the 7 parts of the earth. Okay, because hey, you got different continents now. Like everything was knitted together. It was called the shit, man. Fuck, man. I was just on the tip of my tongue. The Pangea, okay, which means everything put together. So when you look at the way that the continents are formulated today, you can tell that everything was connected like a puzzle. Okay, but concept through flood, everything divided, and the Most High created the different continents and so forth, man. Okay, so hey, how about Shem How Shy, man? Hey, it's and when the destruction comes, man, this planet gonna look totally different. Like everything is gonna be pretty much shifted again, okay? Because the scriptures go into America being broken up in 3 parts. All right, due to the different when the missiles hit, and on top of that, America is pretty much like a ticking time bomb. You know, you got gases here, you got mines and so forth. You got national state, or what is it, Yellowstone National Park, etc. So this place is a big powder keg ready to explode. But anyway, that's the point I wanted to make. So going to this Revelation 15th chapter. All right, Revelation 15. And I'm going to start at verses 1. It says, "And I saw," Salakia, man, no, stop. But it says, "I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up with the wrath of the Most High." Okay. "And I saw that there was a sea of glass mingled with fire. And them that had got the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark and over the number of his name stand on the sea of glass having the harps of the Most High." Okay. So that is, when it says stand on a sea of glass, it's talking about literally being in outer space, looking down on this earth as the hell break loose, man. And they called it a sea of glass because, like we just broke down, the transparency of the firmament, man. Okay, like if somebody was to hold a glass up and mirror, and I'm not able to see the edges of it, then I can't tell. Like certain restaurants and certain buildings, they have glass to the point it look like it's open, but if you walk, you will hit it because it's something literally standing there, man. Okay, so we're going to be actually on top of the outer space. We're going to be on top of the atmosphere, so to speak. looking down on it, man. You see, that's why it says the sea of glass. So when you go into this word glass, and it goes into the Greek word hylenos, which means, oh shit, Salakia. It says a glass or transparent like glass, glassy, okay? It's transparent. It's not literal glass, but it appears to be because it's clear. You see what I'm saying? That's why I said the transparency. Okay, so let's look up what transparent means. And transparent goes into see-through, okay? Right. See-through. It says see-through, clear, translucent, pellucid, crystal clear. Okay, the firmament. That's why I said I'm looking up in the sky right now. It's crystal clear. Okay, it says limpid, glassy, glass-like, liquid. Okay, unclouded, uncloudy, transpicious, cloudy, flimmy, gazy, fine, sheer, light, lightweight. Okay, but the whole point, see-through. That's why they put it in caps. See-through. Okay, so we're gonna literally behold the destruction on the planet Earth, man, from above. That's why I call it the sea of glass, okay? Because we're going to literally be above watching everything go down. And how we're going to be above in those ships, man. Okay, we're not just going to be just floating and out. No, we're going to be in the ships because the ships have to take us off this planet or off this earth in order to not be destroyed because those missiles are going to hit. Okay, and it makes sense, though, because when the ICBM, which stands for Intercontinental Ballistic Missile, hey, those go up in the atmosphere way above and they shoot down. So you got to be above that. Because if not, then the chariots are the chariots. They won't get hit. But common sense is like, we ain't going to be anywhere in this domain. We're going to be above it. And with the technologies of the chariots, man, I just speculate and I speak as a man when I say this, but the technology of the chariots is so great to the point that we'll be able to zoom in on it and see it. You know what I'm saying? We'll be able to see it at first view. Because at night, you just got chariots that just sit above the earth and they can literally see everything. Okay, they may be far away in a distant part of the galaxy, but yet they can still see everything and they can zoom in. Okay, because that's the spirit of the Lord. That's why the scripture said that his eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Okay, another precept, last precept here. And I like this topic, man, because it can be a stumbling block, but it's really straightforward. It's not hard to understand, because that whole flat earth nonsense, that shit is trash, man. It don't even make any sense, I mean, we went through that a couple years back, man. A couple of guys got disenchanted by the whole flat earth thing and all this other stuff. I said, well, for one thing, the scriptures doesn't prove that. Scriptures say that the earth hangs on nothing. Okay, what is that? And then they want to go into the concept of pillars. And it's not talking about literal stands that the earth is sitting on, man. No, okay? They don't understand it. But this is Revelation 22:1. It says, and he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of the Most High and the Lamb. And in the midst of the street of it, and on the other side of the river, there were trees of life, which bear 12 manners of fruit and yielded every fruit her month, and leaving of the trees there were healing of the nations, right? And Apostle Tahar, he went into it. He even said it that they ain't even literal trees. It's talking about the vibrations, I believe. He said that, which is cold-blooded, because it's like, damn, when you think about it, it makes sense. Okay, because everything is in vibrations of 12 on the planet Earth, from the 12 tectonic plates, the 12 parts of heaven, the time itself, okay? All in vibrations of 7 or 12. It makes a lot of sense. The 12 gates, the 12 tribes, the 12 apostles, it all makes sense. But it says, and he showed me a pure river, water of life, crystal clear as crystal, that's going into the heavens, man. Okay, the firmament, the ozone layer, so to speak. Because like we just said, that we're going to be standing on top of the earth watching it, well, not Salakia, in space watching the whole thing go down. Because we're not going to be on this planet when the destruction comes. Okay, that's why the scriptures say come and rest with Psalms 91, I believe. But anyway, it says proceeding out of the throne of the Most High and of the Lamb. Okay, and where's the throne of the Most High? In the third heaven. Okay, above space. And it says, in the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, there were trees of life, which bear 12 manners of fruit, and yielded our fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations, man. And there should be no more curse, but the throne of the Most High and the Lamb shall be in it, and his servant shall serve him, man. Okay. But anyway, brothers, just end it there. Just a quick little word on that. Giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim and Hawashai. And with that, Shalom and the Baba Ball.